Good evening, dear listeners, colleagues. This is Commercial Radio Worldwide. Welcome to our weekly show while we are waiting for the guests and the colleagues to join me here in our virtual studio. Let me greet you. My name is Sam Zima. I'm hosting the show today. I'm expecting a few other colleagues to join me here in the virtual studio. I can see Tendani is on the platform. I'm trying to call her over to the studio. Tendani, I did send you a WhatsApp message. So that will be the link that brings you over to my site. This is the mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. Our shows are based on the principle called the idea. We inform and entertain, develop and educate, empower and support, associate and network. This is our digital online mastery show or digital online streaming mastery show. We are at Unit 23, Conduct 18, promoting the show on the social media. I know a number of people are very interested in this topic because it speaks to all of us. But we're going to look at it from the perspective of using the platforms as a vehicle through which you promote the show once you have designed it, want people to join you. We are continuing with the units and the conducts, and it's great to know that we have covered already 22 units and 17 conducts. We have about 35 conducts, which are the do's and don'ts of digital online streaming, be it either the radio, online radio, podcasts, YouTube streaming, any other video streaming that you may use. Those do's and don'ts apply. And then, of course, the units are packaging of this content that we add on top of those conducts. And today we're adding the content from the social media platform. Looking forward to some inputs from the colleagues here. Welcome, Divesh and Rapula. I can see you. I hope you are ready to say hi to the listeners and give us your opening remarks about this topic. Of course, we're also interested to know as to how you are and how you're feeling. Over to you, Rabula.
Caught me off guard, but I'm here, Sam. Today for me was another day because sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you find that hey, instead of having a positive something else, something negative kicks you in. I had one of those days today, but because of my awareness of my environment, and I said to myself, no, this is not going to retard my thinking of today and what I need to do today. So I need to get work this thing on negative mindset, cover negative energy coming in and get rid of it as quick as possible. But it was a battle until I managed to get it, out of my system around about in the afternoon. But other than that, I had two fruitful discussions. The one which I had, it was with a local municipality. I'm not a fan of the local municipality, but today I had a conversation with them. It was worth it. And hopefully it will build something completely new from now onwards going forward.
Beautiful. Yesterday, you advised me that every change starts on a Monday. I don't know what happens on Tuesday.
Every change starts on Monday. So, but when you wake up in the morning, all of a sudden you got certain negative energy, and I fought with it. So I said I've managed to win that negative energy. Perhaps for me to speak somebody else other than my mind, because no one says the mindset. Why am I so tired? Why am I having this energy? why this thing is coming through. But I managed to, do you know, I've got this thing of saying, don't forget this is a hump. A minute I put something as a hump, it's gone, it's off my system.
Mm, mm. I
Mm,
hope you haven't
mm,
forgotten watching and listening to those daily affirmations because they carry me through.
mm. I do. I think this time it didn't came out when, no, normally when I wake up, I do what we call meditation first.
Yeah.
So I did it this morning. I was okay until after 8:30.
Mm,
I don't know what
mm.
slipped my mind after 8:30. But
Mm,
around about past 12, because I was already going to first meeting, second meeting, I think I was okay.
mm. Beautiful. I don't think the listeners
Mm.
know who Rabula is.
And you're okay. My name is Rapula Modibani. I'm based in Bujanala district. I'm the member of Comesa group. This is a lovely group which normally engage and put you in a better position. I think I'm more ideal of the person of being ready to be a business coach or an executive coach. But I'm currently doing a mentor and coaching for small entrepreneurs. That's so far. I'm learning a lot on this platform, and I'm also contributing a lot on this platform. And
Beautiful. So,
as I speak to you right now, I'm in Buchanan district, between the two towns, between Brest and Rustenburg,
what's your village
the
called?
Barseba.
Oh, Vatsiva. I always drive past Vatsiva. Everybody that drives towards Sun City has to drive past Vatsiva.
Exactly. The most icon point of it is the I think it's more like a sports field, which is on next door.
Yes, yes.
Mm, mm, mm,
Good
mm,
place.
mm,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rapula. It's always good to have you here, and you always enlighten us on the practicality side of things. Thank you so
mm.
much. Yes, welcome to you, my brother.
Good evening, Sam. Good evening, colleagues, and good evening to the listeners. I'm Divesh. I'm a resident DJ at Kometsa Radio. I'm a graduate of the Digital Online Streaming Mastery program that Kometsa offers. And I won't go into how my day was today. It's one of those usual days, I think, as long as you meet your agreed targets that you set for yourself, then it was a good day. I'm looking forward to the discussion for tonight because let's face it, Sam, if you can have a wonderful product, it's not worth much if it's not out there and enjoyed by our listeners. So, putting
Mm.
your marketing effort into the product that you develop is as important as generating a really good product, Sam.
Indeed. And I look forward to hear your perspective about these platforms because many of us know these platforms from a point of view of being using them for personal purposes. We all gonna delve into the role they play for positioning your business and your products. Look forward to your insights there, and congratulations once again, Divesh, for having started your blog on the same topic of this series, digital online streaming mastery. So we're looking forward to learn from the insights that you gain from your AI degree and the practical experience, of course.
Thank you, Sam. And yes, I'm also a bit anxious as to plan what I'm going to be putting into the blog because I want to make sure that once I start, the ideas keeps flowing. I don't want to have some kind of a writer's block. But thank you, sir.
Yeah. They say that if you keep on saying, I'm going to start writing one day, they say you are not a writer yet, therefore, you are a waiter. I don't know whether you get the joke.
Now I get it, Sam. And in line with the marketing that we're talking about today, I like the one that one of the insurance companies using to say you can lose weight, but they talking about time. But the way they phrase it, it's as if you're going to lose physical weight.
Well, beautiful. Miss T, Tandani, welcome. How is Makado?
Good evening, colleagues, and good evening to the listeners, and a good day to everyone. Taterapula and Divesh.
Beautiful. It's good to have
Makado
you.
is, thank you. It's been some time.
Mm.
It's always good to be home again.
Yeah, we've been missing you.
Yeah, I know. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur and being an adventurer at the same time. It makes it a bit hectic for one, but yeah, I've managed. I think I found my feet on the new venture that I went in. So I
Mm,
think I can now balance the time between the other projects that I do and this new one that I just started. So yeah, Makado,
mm,
it's beautiful. It's getting warmer. Um,
mm,
now the dust is coming in. We're looking forward to to the blooming of the new trees and the mango
mm.
trees and all. It's almost their time. So yeah.
Wow. As for mangoes, wow, you need to bring them over this side.
Yeah, no,
For those who
you
don't
should
know
be able to have a
Makato,
share.
is the old Louis Trichardt, right?
Yes, it's the old leaf cut.
Mm.
I thought
And your village is
it was Toyando.
No, Makado, it's Louis Trisha. Toyando remains Toyando.
mm.
My apologies.
And your village?
Accepted. My village, it's Madumbija. Madumbija, it's actually a name that was given by people who moved. I'm not so sure. I've not gotten the full information of where they moved from. When they got to this area, they were asked, where are you guys now situated? So where they were, at exactly where we're staying, we have three little mountains that looks like the ports, the three-legged ports.
Mm,
So then Bapedi says, no, re dutse poleke nngwe, o ka re o na le thaba tša maoto a pija.
mm.
Because they were vendor speaking people, so they didn't translate it as maoto a pija, but Madombija. So that is how the name came about. And there was a child who was born called Madombija into one of the royal families.
Wow. Beautiful stories how the Africans name their children
Exactly.
and the places.
And the
Thank you so
places.
much. Thank you so much, Tandane. And I hope one day we'll talk about your favorite topic, art and culture. I see our friends in Italy, Roberto keeps on updating us, but that is your
Yes.
show for one other day.
Exactly. Beautiful things are happening, and new development. Unfortunately, we lost one of our legends in the arts, the directorship, script writing and all that. Temba, we hosted
Yes.
him a couple of years ago, and yeah, it was so sad.
I'm so heartbroken, Bratemba. Many people know Bratemba Ganyati is a known icon in the arts and culture field. May his soul rest in peace. Thanks for sharing
Exactly.
those sad news with us. I see they're burying him on Saturday, this coming Saturday, right?
Yes,
In
this coming
Mamelodi.
Saturday. Yes.
Condolences to his friends and family members. We had it once, had him here
The
on the
industry has
show,
lost as well.
and indeed.
The
Thank
industry
you,
has lost
Tandani.
a legend, sir.
Yeah, we pass our condolences if you happen to speak to the family.
Definitely.
Good. Umpile, how is Paris? You told me that it's still daylight there now in Paris.
Yes, that the same. Good evening to you and all. Yes, in Paris we have, I think, rain. So I think the weathers have been confused. But yeah. So for me today, just to reflect on, maybe check in. I've been busy also trying to understand cloud computing. So it's one of the topics that I also enjoy. One of the topics that I've been exploring nowadays. So, and I also attended one of the sessions by, I think, Hawaii
Yeah.
in South Africa, that we were just discussing about cloud computing and its benefit, especially for businesses that would want to move into the cloud. As we know that most of the businesses right now, if they want to exist in the future, they need to start thinking about going into the cloud. So I was just
Mm.
listening to their session and just trying to learn more about cloud computing. I think for this month, I'm just dedicating my time to learn more about cloud computing.
Including understanding our new portal, right?
Obviously, yes, yes, as we discussed yesterday, also I did check in with, I saw also that the Divesh post on the new portal. It was actually more informative, and I hope to also maybe in the future to just also put in some content there. And I also hope to learn a lot, because I see there's a lot to learn from the portal. So I'm looking forward to other members sharing and engaging in
Mm.
knowledge development and just personal development at large.
Mm. Paris is the focus right now. How many legs of the Tour de France is left, and are the Olympians arriving in numbers?
Yes, actually there are some metros that will be like closed, that will need to be closed, and but fortunately for us South Africans, the embassy here is actually helpful in creating some platform for us to, if we want to go and look at the Olympics. There are some venues that have been assigned specifically for South Africans to go and watch the Olympics. So yeah, the spirit of sport and all that, you can just feel it every time you just move around. You can see it anywhere. It's actually exciting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, give a shout out to Team South Africa there. We're looking forward to the opening on the 26th of July. I think it's 8 o'clock in the evening. So it's going to be a great opening, I'm sure. Thank you so much, Ompile. Always good to be connected with you. You must feel like you are not that far away from home, at least for me, because we talk almost every day. Thank you. I look forward to your input as well. You and Divesh will need to talk, because the information technology is your forte, and you both have a relationship with the University of Johannesburg, one of the universities in South Africa in as far as AI and technology is concerned. Marco Tadera Mutla, Marco Love, all the way from Tembisa.
Originally from Kamatlala Phofu.
Valewali Tropo.
Ge ba re ba lewa ditoropong ba ra bo Ramutla.
Welcome,
Good
my brother.
evening, colleagues. Good evening, listeners. Technology is very amazing. Today, the whole day, I've been trying to make my company to be fully compliant. And yeah, you communicate through email, and then you get responses, you get directives, and you work according to the directives and derive joy when you get the product of what you have been wanting from a particular institution. So yeah, technology is amazing. So I'm looking forward to the engagements today towards the promoting of the show on social media using different medias. I'm looking forward. Thanks.
Beautiful. Wonderful. I'm going to pick our brother Divesh to give us a context, because he has been creating shows before and has used social media quite a lot. And then we'll delve into Facebook and its utilization. And please be open-minded. Try to forget what you know about it. Let's look at it fresh eyes, because there's a lot that we take it for granted. I think that we need to start looking at from a business perspective. And then, of course, we'll look into YouTube. Everybody knows YouTube, but we need to look at that. Also, the tracking and measurements that are used there. We move into Twitter. It's now called X. I'm still having to get used to calling it X. I must be honest with you. I still have nostalgia. I feel very nostalgic when I think of Twitter, because Twitter, it meant tweeting was just even a verb. Now I don't know what we're gonna do with that verb called tweeting. Now they're trying to say Xing, but it doesn't sound very much good. And then, of course, my favorite, the LinkedIn, the platform for the business people. Everybody who is in business knows how powerful LinkedIn is, especially since it was taken over and now owned by Microsoft. So if you are on a Microsoft database, automatically people on LinkedIn will access you. And then we will talk a little bit about Pinterest. I don't think that many people realize the power of Pinterest and those pins and what they can do, especially if you understand the do's and don'ts of Pinterest. We will look into the Tumblr, again, one of the very powerful social media platforms that is not really utilized fully, called Tumblr. Is really the blocking, where you can almost block everything on Tumblr. Then we go into WhatsApp. Everybody knows WhatsApp. Everybody uses WhatsApp. And we're going to look at how does it enter in the business space, and how we can use it to promote our shows. Because if you do a show and you don't promote it, I can guarantee you're not going to get very good interest and response. And then, of course, we end up with Instagram. There is also Snapchat. I just decided we're not going to talk about it. It's a little bit very complicated social media platform. Maynard, welcome. We have already greeted everybody. If you can just quickly say hi, and then we ask Divesh to give us the context from the digital online streaming here at COMESA, and when does he really decide to use them, and which one? And then I'll open up the discussion and with some inputs around Facebook as the first one to look at. Welcome, my brother Maynard, fellow citizen of Ekurhuleni.
Good evening, Daresama. Good evening, colleagues. Indeed, we are the residents of Ekurhuleni. I hope everyone is well in these social media platforms. I think that is where everyone today is living. We are living in the social media platforms.
Yeah, beautiful. Wow, you sound so squeaky clean today. Thank you so much. I hope you're going to tell us the magic you did. Over to you. I knew you will get it ultimately, because we've been on you for a lot, on your case for a long time. Over to you, Divesh.
No.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, as I'd mentioned in my intro, if we don't do the marketing aspect for our shows, as wonderful as our shows could be, whether it's a podcast or whether it's a online stream live, um, you're not going to get the impact that you are hoping to get. But over and above marketing your show, the platforms that you mentioned, Sam, it starts again, as we've mentioned with many of our other modules. It's very important to be part of the planning, where we look at these platforms and we could firstly use it to do our bits of research about the topic that we're going to have in the show. We're going to be able to use it to find our audience in terms of what we want to target for the show that we're putting together. And we can even use it to find our guest. So, right in the inception of planning our show, these platforms you mentioned could be used as an integral part of the planning. But over and above that, one of the core features is indeed, firstly, whetting the appetite of the listeners on those various platforms to tell them of an up and coming show, and then post the live show, you use the platforms again to showcase and market the podcast as well as the platform that you are broadcasting on, as well as showcasing the guest of the show as well as the host of the show. So there's a myriad of value propositions that we would use these platforms for. In terms of personal preference, I enjoy using the LinkedIn firstly because I used to do a show as part of the digital online streaming mastery program, which focused on leadership. And LinkedIn does indeed have a lot of professionals where you could easily dissect the searches that you do on the platform based on what professionality you would be focusing in on, if you're focusing in on. And of course, there is, as you mentioned, Sam, a lot of the business personalities that's there as well as businesses themselves. So for me, that was more suited towards the type of show that I was doing. And secondary to that, I would use Facebook again to share with my own network more on a social level to also increase the reach that our shows would be reaching, Sam.
Beautiful. And you do that very well. I think there's argument that you must not visit social media platforms. You must live in them once you have decided which one is meeting your requirements. Because if you visit it, you miss a lot and the followers drop off because they don't get value from connecting with you.
Indeed, Sam. And like you rightfully said, you got to live in it. You got to look out for any responses that you would get from people on the platform in relation to what you're posting. And you must be active as well, in that you not only share the fellow members on your radio station, for example, their posts, but also you must be able to keep your posts alive and well so that those who follow you on those platforms do get the up-to-date information. They do feel, like we've said, with regards to with regards to our audience, they should also feel that you care about them. You are taking their inputs, their comments, uh, you know um, they're important to you, and you should take the time and show appreciation for them giving you some kind of feedback. And that feedback is important because you could then use it within your shows to improve or to emphasize certain things that your audience is enjoying. So this is a mechanism as well to be able to get that vibration back as well that we keep talking about from the audience.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much for that perspective. It really helps. Yeah. Let's go into Facebook. Facebook is one of the most popular and widely used social media platform or accounts that encompasses users of all ages. I think that is the strength of Facebook. You meet all ages on Facebook. You just need to go into one of your accounts that you follow and look at that account's followers. Maybe get an account that is a little bit more busy and just look at, by just looking at the faces of the people, obviously that's very subjective, but you can tell that you have all generations on a Facebook platform actually coexisting. And that's one feature that we need to take note of. When you deal with Facebook, you must know that you are not talking to just one demographics. And people overlook that fact. And sometimes you can connect with people of your age, and you may not connect with people of other ages because you are not cognizant of that fact. So many famous brands have Facebook pages with thousands of followers, therefore, because of that, the platform may seem like the best place to start a social media campaign. But if you don't prepare and you don't maintain your account very well, then you might struggle to achieve success. And it's very hard. I've used Facebook a number of times where you sponsor your posts because they are very good at that. I mean, they've stopped being just a platform where you post something and then you sit back and count the number of people that like or share or react. They are now aware if you are not participating in promoting, especially if it's a company type of thing, they restrict the distribution that you have. And that's why one of the strong points of Facebook is the tracking and the measurements that they use. And those are the level of engagement is very important for Facebook from a business point of view. They want to know that you have an account that actually attracts a lot of engagement. If you don't have that, they punish you for that. The other metrics that they use is the demographics of your followers. As I've just said, the people that follow you, they very much analyze that to see what demographics do you attract. Are they as diverse as possible? Because what they actually sell in terms of adverts is exactly that. There are clients that advertise on Facebook. They go to Facebook because you are able to actually go to your post and do the settings and choose the demographics it must post to. You can put the age, you can put the area where people are based, you can put the continent, the provinces. It has got wide demographics that you can use for that. And then, of course, the other measurement they use is the likes, be either organic, paid, or net. And then, of course, they will use the reach, and the reach is measured in form of comments, the amount of sharing, and the reactions that you get, and of course, the growth of your posting day in, day out. So those are really key features of Facebook that stand out, that if you don't look at them very closely, you can be very frustrated with Facebook, especially since they had decided that it's no longer used to motivate or to promote the posting of people who are not prepared to buy the adverts. Advert in their context is just basically, you can say, I want this post to run for 5 days, and then it calculates maybe for 5 days you'll pay 180 rand or whatever. So that is where they make their money. And sometimes we use the word advert, and then it sounds too big and too serious. But they just basically meaning that you pay for your post to be shared widely. So I'll wait here and hear your response before we go into what are the pros and cons of Facebook. Over to anyone who wants to reflect on that.
Do you know, Sam? I'm one of those users of both Facebook and LinkedIn. Link. I normally miss the word LinkedIn. Yeah, and then from where I'm sitting in, because I normally use both of them for entrepreneurship, I get more impact on LinkedIn than on Facebook. I don't know why.
No, the reason is quite clear. I think, sorry, I'm not interrupting, but I think it's a very important point you raise, because you belong there, Rapula. You are a small business entrepreneur, you are a business consultant, you are a finance banker. So you definitely have people that look at you and then they say, he looks like us.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's what I'm saying. What I've picked up more on my traction, even inquiries, are coming from LinkedIn than on Facebook. Facebook, it's very often I'll say people who knows me, and they'll pick up a phone and say, no, can you engage on this? But those whom I'm thinking that I'm targeting, those which are unknown, it's more very close book for me on a Facebook. But every now and then, what I realize that it's more to say that even though soul, which I may use the words of saying, either they've forgotten me or I've forgotten them. I normally pick them up from the Facebook perspective.
We tend to talk about just Facebook, but there are two kinds of Facebook. There is Facebook and there's Facebook for Business. Divesh?
Okay, all right.
Yes, thanks, Sam. You rightfully was touching on the point I wanted to also raise when Rapula was talking. Um, when you look at those two specific platforms, even with LinkedIn, you can have your normal LinkedIn or you can have your professional LinkedIn. Of course, they come with different, funding models, costs associated with going for the professional one. But of course, you can do much more with the professional LinkedIn. And likewise with the Facebook for just normal social work, you could use that without much cost. You could use it to sell products as well. But then, if you really want to benefit from these kinds of platforms and in relation to digital online streaming mastery, if you've got a show, you'd want to utilize monetary models that these platforms have. For example, with Facebook, the more followers you receive, and if you were to have some kind of a live show on the Facebook platform, your followers can actually generate revenue for you. The Facebook platform as well. The more followers you get, you could actually get into a situation where it becomes revenue generating. That's the ideal, I would think, that any online broadcaster would like to have, in that when you are doing what you love, you're producing your show, you have a lot of audience members who's listening in on your show and following you, your social media platform, then you actually start getting paid revenue from these platforms because they obviously do make money off you as well, Sam.
And I think at this point, and I was just thinking aloud now as we're talking, we could also bring Instagram, because Facebook and Instagram, they both belong to Meta. They're all owned by Meta, which is the company that Mark Zuckerberg is a holding company. So when you post on Facebook, automatically, I don't know whether it's a setting or it's automatic. You could actually, I just post on Facebook, but especially pictures. We go on Instagram, you find the same post. I think it's important for people to realize that you can do the settings in a way that you maximize the relationship between the two, Facebook and Instagram. So basically what you get is the settings you have done yourself. So a lot of people see that, Facebook is no longer working for me. So they have introduced a lot of things that you need to do in terms of settings. But if you don't know those settings, it will not work for you. Because, for instance, if you have many pages, like I normally have a lot of business pages, when I do one post, I've set it in such a way that it automatically goes into all my pages and the groups, and then it gives me a leeway to share it into 3 other groups, which I will have selected for this particular post, because I know those groups are for certain kind of people. So I think we need just to bring that awareness to say that because you don't know the settings, and therefore you get what you get, you put in. And don't generalize and say, it's not working for me, I don't get impact. Say, what is it that I don't know that makes me not to achieve what I want to achieve? Divesh and Rapula and other colleagues, please chip in. I mean, that's the whole idea too, because you're going to do shows and you're not going to be able to reach maximum responses because you don't understand how the platforms work, Divesh.
So, sorry, before Divesh kicks in, I think also on a WhatsApp, you can link it, your WhatsApp status, into your Facebook.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Because the WhatsApp also belongs to Meta. They're owned by the same company.
Yes, indeed, Sam. Like you've rightfully said, those 3 platforms is actually from the same company, and As you get involved with the online social media marketing, you would have either a specialist that will advise in terms of what's best for you, what's best to reach the target audience that you are wanting to reach, and what strategy you should use in terms of even maybe using cross platform. So you'd want to use the Meta product, you'd want to go into your Instagram, you want to go into LinkedIn, and one important one, Sam, which I think we left out, even though I know Maynard had mentioned it in some other shows, but I think today's show leads itself to actually expose the opportunity of using TikTok. That's one of
Yeah.
the fastest growing social media platforms, and obviously you'd want to go for that platform because it has a lot of a much younger audience. So
Mm.
you'd probably want to use that kind of a platform to advertise shows, advertise products, advertise guests, all kinds
Yeah.
of things. Even your own, even your Facebook platform, for example, your Facebook page. You'd want to
Mm.
advertise it in the other platforms so that you
Yeah.
can then increase the
Mm.
reach and like I said earlier, some of these platforms do allow for opportunities of revenue generation while you grow your supporter base, you grow your listenership in terms of audience. You can actually generate um, revenues from some of these platforms, and if you're generating revenues, of course you can always, like I say, hire a social media expert that does that part, improve the systems that you use, improve the kind of content that you even have in your show. So there's a lot of value propositions with using the social media in a proper way, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you do these posts, just for clarity here, you are not selling. I think the people make the mistake. They put something on social media. I'm so and so. This is what I do. Please contact me. I can be of use to you. That's a wrong approach because the platforms are first made for you to do marketing and business development. If you then want them to work for you as sales, then you buy an advert and you are saying to them that I don't just want to post, I want to target certain people that I know based on the parameters in my settings, they will basically be needing my product. And therefore, because you pay, the algorithm that they use is designed not to do promotion and marketing, is designed to do the targeting. Now you are actually channeling your audience into the sales funnel, and therefore the outcome for your success there is not just how many people have watched it, but it's how many people have actually responded to our call to action. Tendani, I see you want to come in. Okay. I thought Tendani wanted to come in there. So yeah. So that is really the insights that I wanted to share. Because you have touched on TikTok, I wanted to go to YouTube, but I want to jump to TikTok because you touched on that, and maybe Maynard can come in there. Now, I mean, TikTok is revolutionizing the social media platform, especially in the US. I mean, now there's a talk about the Kamala Harris. They're saying that one of the big grants is going to give to Donald Trump is that Donald Trump has what we call his platform, his new platform. It's a new name for it. In fact, we should have brought it up here. It's not X. I know he was on X, very popular, but he's called his own platform. I forgot the name. But they say now the youth in the US are all on TikTok. And they say and they do it instantaneously as she is campaigning around. It is amazing. But also in Africa now, in South Africa in particular, TikTok is a platform that is really, as Divesh has said, is typically utilized by the Generation Z. it presents advantages for a lot of business, and business literally they are crashing on it because you found this new young market there. But before using this platform, the warning is that you must be aware of the pros and cons and the type of content that should be uploaded. But what I've seen them doing, they're going more into adverts, but they're also going into, at some stage, Divesh, from your technology point of view, and Umpile, there was a time when these media platforms were coming in, or digitalization was coming in. Many of us, you will go and get all your old documents, and then we say we are digitalizing them, meaning that we are making them now available as digital documents. TikTok is doing that. You come across a post of Ace Ntsoelengoe in 1970s in a game against Chiefs versus Pirates, and you get it on TikTok. Then you wonder, but where is this coming from? Because TikTok wasn't there. So there's a huge realization that you can actually bring old material into TikTok and stream it like you have just done it yesterday, Divesh.
Yes, I'm just as you had mentioned, I was thinking Donald Trump, when they banned him from Twitter, known as X now, he started up his own social media called Truth. So that's
Yeah,
the one you were
yeah.
looking for. But yes, indeed, in terms of TikTok, very, very strategic. We won't talk too much about the other dynamics where politics from a global level gets involved with TikTok, where they start blocking the platform from certain markets, certain countries. But it's for the same purpose that you mentioned. The growth of the TikTok platform, for example, has been phenomenal. And the influence it's been having on its followers or subscribers has been huge. So, in terms of fourth industrial revolution technologies that's taking place, this is on the forefront of influence towards society. And the advent again of the TikTok, which is also capturing the data that we are sharing, all these videos we are posting, the things we do on the platform. It's being stored in an international market, most likely in China, and that's a bit scary. But from a powerful, or from a perspective of being able to reach audiences, being able to build your brand, and also to be able to generate revenue from your popularity, TikTok is really a phenomenal platform, Sam.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the pros here for TikTok. They say that it is very easy to create content using the smartphone. They call it very, very right. You can literally configure a music, a song using your phone. Content does not have to be professionally polished, but fun and very approachable. Plenty of inexpensive opportunities for advertising. That's what we use. Ompile, you wanted to come in there, and I'm sure Maynard will definitely want to come in because he is a TikTok fanatic. Am I right, Maynard?
Yeah, no, well, I'm not sure if Umpilo want to come in first.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. For me, I don't use TikTok a lot, but I believe that it does have a lot of influence, and specifically, I believe that because these social medias, most of them, they have some form of like strategic way of sharing information or content. So you would normally say Twitter would be like, trending stuff, but for TikTok specifically speaking, I think their way of the content that is shared, it's more like wanted by people because it's you don't have to read a lot. People, I believe, like a lot of people are lazy most of the time to read. So most of the things that you find in TikTok, you consume them by just watching, and I feel like that's how they it's more like people like it because and most of the content there, it's short, brief type of information, obviously, but some are long, but it's you get a lot of information so quick and so fast. So that's why most of the people don't even watch news. If something is trending, even now when I'm in France, one of my friends will tell me that did you know what is happening? And I ask them, how did you know this thing? Then they would say, through TikTok, and most of the companies also they are using it because of that. So it's some people just go there to just get news or get content about specific businesses.
Mm, mm. Indeed, indeed. And a lot of hilarious stuff on TikTok.
Indeed.
Maynard,
I think Umpile is very correct. TikTok is actually very interactive. Other than our traditional Facebook, Facebook is good just to post there and hope to come and see the viewers later, how many people might have seen it, things like that. And of which TikTok is more live, if I had to put it that way, because it's easier to stream it. Whatever, anything that you think of is easier to just post, then interact with your followers as well in a real time. So I think that's where TikTok they got it right, because it's actually very live, it's easier to interact. And Umpile mentioned something that is not only about just reading, other than Facebook and other LinkedIn, where you need to take time in terms of reading whatever the people are posting. But it's just watching, like it's easier to, you can watch or you can even listen on the background, depending whatever you are doing. So it's easier to interact with TikTok other than other social media platforms. And indeed, most youth worldwide, they're depending on TikTok, and they are actually utilizing it fully to its capacity. So I think that's another platform that I will advise any youth person to start.
but will you agree with me, Maynard, in terms of our digital online streaming mastery show series, the do's and don'ts? TikTok breaks some of those do's and don'ts.
Well, yes,
Dinesh?
it does break some of the do's and don'ts because most of the people, they are not there just to create a professional
They don't
content,
want to
but
comply.
some
They
of
don't want to comply with anything, any rule.
yes, some of them. The problem is that most of them they're just there for fun, and if you are there for fun, you won't follow any other rule. That's a problem with TikTok again. But there are those who are utilizing it in a professional way. In those ones, then they will follow all the pros and cons of do's and don't of the social media platforms. So it depends on what you're utilizing TikTok for.
Exactly, especially if you are involved in it on behalf of your company because you are from marketing department and your products are targeting the young people who are on TikTok, right? You will have to comply with the do's and don'ts. But be aware that the respondent being the target market, the customers that you are targeting, they don't care. Divesh?
Yes, indeed, Sam. I just wanted to qualify what I was saying before. Uh, TikTok for me is amazing as a platform from a technology perspective, from the analytics it's capable of doing. It's one of the most powerful analytics engines that's available in the social media space. And its potential for impact to society is massive. But I do agree with you, Sam. Majority of the content that you would find on TikTok is the laugh. You just want a quick laugh. You wouldn't really find much serious content there. But this is where we come in with regards to the digital online streaming mastery show. You could actually generate uh, good content, wholesome content, which does follow the do's and don'ts, and put that onto TikTok. Of course, it's very short posts that you currently can put on TikTok. But in terms of the platform and what it can do for you, that's phenomenal. But in terms of the current content that you'd find there on the TikTok, it's not necessarily of good quality, except for usually to get a good laugh. That being said, Sam, I've also read and seen markets such as China, the TikTok platform, the content that's there is very different from the rest of the world. In the Chinese market, the TikTok is used more of a instrument to help develop, especially the youth, in terms of education, in terms of positive attributes that you'd want in your society. So when you look at the aspect that I mentioned earlier about politics, you'd find that this could be a very powerful tool that governments can actually use, in particular the Chinese government, to actually help or not help other countries in terms of their own societal development, Sam.
Beautiful. Umpile, how is it there in France? I mean, it sounds like you're very much familiar with some perspectives there, as you were talking earlier on.
Yes. So for me, I agree with Vesh in terms of like, some of the international rules, especially coming to data. I think last time I read something about Nigeria banning Facebook and Meta for like breach of some information. So I think in each and every country, the way that this platform are used, there is a lot of political dynamics that are involved in terms of how they are used. Especially like you said, most of this information, like they have like sensitive information of users, so sometimes it does comes as a cyber threat. But in terms of marketing, obviously the target that why people use these social medias, I think it's for example TikTok. Like we said, TikTok, most of the time, if we are to look at, maybe if you want to use TikTok, you look at what type of people are there in TikTok. Like for example, you said initially that most of the people in LinkedIn are like business professional and maybe people who are working middle class and all that. So in terms of like how you look at the social media, it depends on what type of people you want to get engaged with. So in like what I'm trying to say is like sometimes it just depends on what type of people you'll get from that social media based on your business strategy, if you can get any market. But I do agree with Divesh in terms of even here in France, when you use TikTok, it's different from how you use it in South Africa, basically because of some of the laws that are there, to safeguard, the data of people and illegal stuff. So, but yeah, so that's what I can say from my side. But I feel like when you use this social media, it's all about what type of people are you gonna get from each social media, and does it align with your business? Is it part of your target market from that social media?
And I can imagine in the European Union is the GDPR.
Yes, yes,
Here is POPI. There is a very comprehensive GDPR which goes beyond borders, not only affecting the European Union countries, but any other country in the world that does business with a member state of the European Union will have to comply with the GDPR. And if you just jump into these platforms, you may find yourself in serious waters, in hot waters.
yes, yes. Specifically, if you are maybe that, because normally they do not fight with users of the platform, but they normally fight with the owners of the platform. So normally, most of the time, that's where the problem lies in, like what Divesh said about the Chinese and Trump and all that. Most of the time is what this social media platform use the information for, but normally it's rare to find out people fighting over someone using it, unless if they are using it for illegal activities and stuff like that, but for professional marketing purposes.
Let me read for you the cons of TikTok. The three main one here is that one is typically used by a limited age group, being between 10 to 19 years old. So they're basically saying that you tread into the area of juveniles, if I may use that. So be aware that the dominant age group that uses TikTok is between 10 years old and 19. And you know that then when we're talking 10 years, you're really talking children. And then the second con of TikTok is the concern surrounding privacy. And that's where the GDPR and POPI Act needs to be considered there. And then, of course, concerns, the third one is concerns around cyberbullying. You've just mentioned that, Umpile. The parents, especially all over the world, are very, very worried about intrusion of TikTok into children, and of course the problem of cyberbullying. Marco, from a social worker point of view, what do you think? Okay. I thought Marco was wanting to come in there. So let's go then to the next one, YouTube. Now, this is very interesting. We were talking about Meta owning Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Now, YouTube is another one that is also owned by Google. Actually, YouTube and Google is the same. That's why even when you log into YouTube, you basically, in many cases, you use your Google login credentials. So everybody knows YouTube. Everybody loves YouTube. You get all kind of quality and poor quality on YouTube because it's very easy to start a channel. So YouTube is not just for videos and movie clips. It has become a beneficial tool for marketing as well, especially through videos. And YouTube is platform offers the opportunity to expose businesses to new viewers and users. And it is very interesting how actually YouTube entices people. There's a certain we call it threshold that you have to meet if you want to make money from Google. There's a certain threshold of followers that you have to meet, and when you meet that threshold with your channel, you literally get paid. And that is basically why they are very, very strong on adverts, and that's why sometimes they irritate those of us who don't want to be interrupted while you are watching a nice song and then advert pops in. Is because that's how they actually fund the creators, and the creators. That's why I love it, because they want to meet that threshold, and once you meet that threshold, money start popping into your account. So that is a commercial platform on its own. You can literally live from it. There are a lot of people that literally left their jobs because their YouTube channels are making so much money that they need to sit down and count that money. And and then of course, because of it being part of Google, that's why the reach is very big. You know. But before beginning a campaign on YouTube, it's very important to be aware of the pros and cons that are associated with it. I mean, one of those, as I said, sometimes you don't. It's not your platform. You know, you deploy content there, but it's not yours. You can only hope that it pays off to you, but that content, if I'm not wrong, it doesn't belong to you. One of the pros cons is that the companies can block YouTube. That's one of the you're targeting the market, but the market, they can say, I mean, even yourself, you can say, I don't want adverts coming in, and that's why they came with the alternative product where you can subscribe and then have a advert-free streaming. It's very difficult to customize in terms of appearance. And then, of course, other advertisers can see your content anyway. It's a public platform. And you have a limit of 15 minutes for the content. And the accounts, if you don't comply with the GDPR and the POPI Act, they can just close your account without literally contacting you. But the good thing is that it works with the SEOs. I think this is because of their relationship with Google. And it allows you to customize it and there's also free hosting options. So I think, but I find YouTube to be really a platform for very serious people, because it's a very serious content intensive platform. But what I've noticed recently now, you can also publish your audio, your podcast into your own YouTube channel. In other words, your audio can also be available on YouTube channel as a content, which is what we have done. Most of our podcasts from Commercial Radio are also available on our YouTube channel called Commercial Television Network. But we are far from reaching that threshold. The measurement that they use is the number of views, like many of the social media, and then of course the ratings that people give you, and the traffic. I mean, you hear people who are on YouTube channel always say, please like my show, buy me coffee. So they're driving the ratings and the number of the traffic and the number of shares and subscribers. Actually, subscribers is a huge metrics for people who own and operate and stream channels on YouTube. Any comments there? I watch YouTube almost every 1 hour. Every 1 hour, I'm on YouTube. Not for anything reason, but I just want to see what's trending. They've got this little bell. You'll see showing numbers, and then you say, if it's 20, say, hey, something is happening on YouTube channel. Pop! Oh, there's Mackenzie, or there's somebody shouting at somebody in Parliament. That's normally what I do it for. Divesh, you wanted to come in there?
Yes, thanks. Indeed, YouTube is an extremely powerful platform, and I think the popularity of it is, besides the content that's there, you always have an aspiring person wanting to be a YouTuber who's actually making lots and lots of money from YouTube. That's predominantly, brought about by the handful of highly successful YouTubers, where those YouTubers can be one of the richest bunch of people in the entire world. So you get aspirations of people wanting to put their content into YouTube so they can actually get revenue out of it. That being said, YouTube is only second to Facebook. Facebook still remains to be the number one platform, social media platform in terms of subscribers. But I think the TikTok will eventually overtake those platforms. It's the do's and don'ts, I think, that we do share. If you inculcate those into your YouTube posts, you could actually generate a subscriber-based YouTube, where your subscribers, for example, would pay a monthly fee to actually see your content. But like we've been saying in today's show, you got to build up your profile to that level where somebody wants to pay to listen or to see your show based on what they already know about you. So we use these platforms to build this profile so that at some stage, all these do's and don'ts resonates with your listeners, and then they are willing to pay that fee. I've seen quite a few shows where you pay 10 Rand a month, but you find the person has got something like 100,000 subscribers. So you can imagine you can just do one show a month, but you're actually getting paid a substantial amount of fees. The do's and don'ts is very important. You got to put in that hard work so that you can actually make money out of these platforms. Thank you, sir.
So there are no shortcuts, Divesh.
Indeed, Sam. We're teaching the telling people the ingredients that they need to use to bake that cake, but you got to practice so that it comes out perfectly, Sam.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's move to our favorite Twitter. Elon Musk just came and spoiled it for all of us. I mean, really, it's a case study that, It's still being looked at in so many ways. I'm not sure of you guys. Let's just talk about the brand Twitter vis-a-vis the brand X. I mean, I'm still having hang-ups when I think of it. And there's a certain number of people definitely that dropped off Twitter when it became X. But it does look like it's hanging on there. But nevertheless, I still want to see what is trending every day before I start my day. But sometimes what trends can be really junk because people drive those trendings. I don't know how they do it, but anyway. But definitely Twitter or X is a popular social media platform that was made famous for its original limit of 140 characters. You still remember the days we used to tweet, post, and then it will say you have exceeded. Then you have to reconfigure and cut it to fit it within those 140 characters. So that number has since been doubled. And the network of short posts has become a staple in modern communication, I mean, as you know. But the rule of thumb is always be short, precise, and to the point. I think that was the reason that's what made Twitter quite very famous and popular. And I think TikTok is also now thriving on that principle, although mostly for the short videos that make you laugh yourself to death, you know. So business can use Twitter or X to their advantage when they know how. Understanding the pros and cons of it is another warning they give you here. But what is important is to know what do they track. What are the measurements that people who are operating Twitter accounts or X accounts are looking at? They look at the retweets. I mean, there's a famous thing. I tweeted, somebody retweet, that means cool. There's an engagement there. Of course, the number of times you are being mentioned, the mentions are also very much liked. And then the followers. Although now in social media, a lot of people are no longer very excited about the number of followers you have, because people do get the so-called influencers to increase the followers. So sometimes it means nothing. Of course, the number of times the links get shared, comments and replies, and of course, referrals. But everybody knows X. I still see people struggling to say X. They still say Twitter, and then they say, if they say X, they say formerly Twitter. You can see in my description there, I've put the X, formerly Twitter, because we're still battling to grapple to get to terms with this brand X. But definitely, you can't talk social media platforms and not mention X. Every company has got an X account, and individuals as well. So that is Twitter. Let's come to LinkedIn. I think we need to spend a little bit of time on here because most of us here are business people. Many of us are on LinkedIn. But let me share with you my frustration. A lot of people are using LinkedIn, and I'm talking professionals, wrongly, because every day I get people say, "Oh, I looked at your profile. I really see that we have a lot in common. This is what I offer, and I think I can do 1, 2, 3 for your company. If you want to know more, click here, or can I schedule a call to come and tell you what we can do for your company?" I said, my goodness. This is against all the rules and the principles and do's and don'ts of networking. Because networking is not about selling, it's about building relationships. And once we have built a relationship, then slowly, in a subtle way, I move you into my sales funnel, and or sometimes I meet you and they say, "Oh, we have been connecting quite a lot of time. Do you want to come and have lunch with me?" Because you have to push people to that. You can't connect with people on LinkedIn and immediately you send them a proposal to buy what you offer. That's when people drop you off. Let's talk about that a little bit, colleagues, because this is very damaging to your own brand and the brand of your organization if you behave like that on this platform, especially on LinkedIn, because there are serious people there, CEOs and directors of companies who have nothing to do with sales. They just want to connect and build that rapport and be to say, I'm here, I'm still here, I'm a CEO of my company.
Sam, I do receive a lot on that, for especially the messages, and also on even on Facebook. I do receive a lot on that. Immediately on Facebook, when you come to me in that fashion, I just block you. I don't know why. She said, no. I think you got it wrong.
Yeah, because it's exactly that. This social media is like meeting people in a conference, and you give them a card, they give you a card, say, "Can I call you to come and present my products to you?" And you're meeting a person for the first time. It defies all the principles of marketing, positioning, and business development. People need to be on their own. On their own, they need to go and look for you more. When they start doing that and engaging with you, you are slowly channeling them to your funnel. And that's all what you need to do. Once they are inside your funnel, you can sell directly. In fact, you pull off. If you are a big company, then you get your salespeople start doing the selling, because yours wasn't about selling. Of course, as small businesses and be you and yourself alone, you probably have a challenge with that. But the discipline not to rush to sell is very important, because you lose very valuable people that want to connect with you.
Yes.
Any other
I,
comments, colleagues? Other colleagues?
yes. For my side, I think also maybe before I say that,
Now
I
think
want to,
about your show.
yes.
Just promote your show. Don't say, please join us. I do that, so join us, but I'm not coercing people. I'm just saying, if you are interested, here's the link. If people don't come, but they've read your promotion, perfect. They will read it twice and thrice, and fifth time they go to, let me just check in. Maybe I'm missing something here. There you are. You get them into your funnel. They start actually getting affected, and they will now want to be part of your journey. That's where now you say, please remember, we are here every Tuesday at 1900 hours.
Yeah, for me, I think the
But
problem
yeah,
is,
LinkedIn is a very unique social media platform because it caters to professional networks. And I think that's why Microsoft bought LinkedIn. It was because of exactly that. Still, advertising on LinkedIn can be successful when it meets your target demographics and you understand how to navigate the system to ensure that the effort you put in is rewarded. Paying attention to the pros and cons, of course, again, is of the system, while optimizing search in profiles and using groups and links correctly will provide you with a good start. What do they track and measure? Engagement, traffic, follow up, and cost per lead. The professional side, as Divesh was saying earlier on, of LinkedIn is not cheap. It's a lot of money. So many companies, they measure the cost per lead. So we've spent so much money. How much the leads is that money giving us? That's what they will measure. We spoke about TikTok. If you don't have any comment, can I proceed? But that is where I think, for the kind of shows which are human capital development shows, LinkedIn is the place
Yeah,
where
Sam,
you can market.
I think Umpile had wanted to make some comments. Let's give him a platform.
Okay, sure. Thank you for that.
yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to say, in terms of like LinkedIn, I think the problem is also the problem is the the business model that they use. Because, for example, I know that some recruiters would come and send people some messages based on their leads. So the LinkedIn would actually recommend them to actually contact those people. So I think also for business, it's the same thing. So I think maybe that's how they might have got their business model wrong. So
Yes.
maybe they need to also just invest on maybe how the experience is like. For example, if maybe I'm employed, I don't want anyone to come, because I remember when I was still employed, I used to get a lot of recruiters come and say, you know what, we want to recruit you. But at that time, I actually, it was irritating me at that point, because I was not really searching for any employment. and someone comes and says something like that is not good. But for someone who actually is unemployed, needs a job, it would be actually better. And also, I wanted to rephrase my statement on saying Nigeria banned Facebook, but actually, they just fined Facebook. I think it was like $2 million US for, I think, data breach type of problems. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So look, I mean, the impact of the matter is that people are all linked for different reasons. When it comes to recruitment, they've really cut into the talent search industry in a big way. In fact, you very seldom come across a search company talking to you about a particular assignment they are retained for that will not be also published on social media, on a LinkedIn, under the account of that particular company. In fact, they will even say that recruitment company put it here and ask people to help you to find people on this, because they believe that there are certain powerful profiles on LinkedIn that the search companies themselves will not even be able to reach. And that's why people are encouraged to follow the companies on LinkedIn that they aspire to work for, because sometimes those companies can find you before you find them. And that's why I'm also saying that, yes, still don't fall into a trap of selling. Just tell that your network be a lot about the work you do, the things your company do. When your CEO is going to go on a roadshow countrywide to present the financial statements, financial reports, then publish it on LinkedIn that our CEO is on a road show, so that people know that you are happening, because it's those kind of things that make people who are interested in your products to want to then go and look or follow you. And then the moment they follow you as a company, they are a captive audience. You just keep on posting and telling what you do, and then they show up in your show because of what you have done on LinkedIn. And 1, 2, 3, then they follow this show, Commercial Radio Worldwide. And then every time then we post and announce a show, it pops up in their Facebook as a notification. Then you have achieved the sale objective without being about selling. But as I said to Divesh, then it requires tenacity, it requires consistency, it requires patience. But when you get people like that, you can be assured that they are going to be with you for a very long time, because you allowed them to develop the relationship with your product and your company rather than coercing them. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for those inputs, colleagues and Mpile. I'm looking at time. It's only time that we don't have. The news are many. We spoke about P interest. I have been a fan of P interest for a very, very long. Divesh, you wanted to say something there?
I just wanted to add that in all of these platforms we're mentioning thus far, Sam, the integration of artificial intelligence has now come to fore. And some of these tasks where you want to have follow up or constant interaction with people that are looking at your page or sending you comments, and you would expect that you need to do responses. So there's lots of tools now that they've integrated with the use of artificial intelligence, which automates a lot of these functions now for you, Sam. So that's another consideration when you are looking at which platform to use for what purposes you would like to use.
Yeah. Beautiful. I mean, AI is definitely another thing we might have a day on it, because it is here. It's not still coming. It is here incrementally. It's taking over quite a lot of functions. Pinterest is also, I love it. I mean, it's really known for its do-it-yourself tips and recipes. Especially if you are able to balance those pins with the weightings. In many cases, we find that the weightings are very less vis-a-vis the pins themselves. I mean, whenever I'm going to address a topic and I'm lazy to go and read books and books, you just go on Pinterest and put a topic. It's amazing the simplified way things are put together there. Even models, if you're looking for coaching models, you go onto Pinterest, you just put coaching models. You almost like you can use as they are. It's really, and many people who put that models, they will be fellow coaches. So it's a very powerful platform, and it's very easy to create. You know, by just navigating the site and going there and put a name, open account and put the name of your company and say, start a pin, you can literally, within seconds, publish that pin. I think people who really want to work with visualization of models, and they should actually consider using Pinterest. But again, if you don't come up with call to action, you can actually have pins there. Nobody will repin it or even. But the trick is pin other people sports, which we call what do you call it? Curating. Don't focus too much on creating your own pins, because in many cases there will be fellow coaches and fellow other people who have already done it. If you just share their own pins, it makes your board become very popular. So yeah, so that's one of the easiest social media really to engage with, especially for marketing and promotion of your business. I really love it, and I will motivate and encourage people to do. What do they track? People who use boards, top pins, and boards, especially for the next 30 days, they tend to attract attention. And then, of course, the current trends get pinned, audience demographics, and customer interests. I'm looking at time and I want to rush through. The Tumblr is one of the most ignored but yet very effective platforms, because it is basically a blogging site. But what is interesting is that you can blog text, you can blog codes, you can blog photos, you can blog audios, you can blog videos, you can blog charts and links. Many people know blogging as being weights. But if you go on Tumblr, you can blog almost everything. And it's very easy to share. And what do they track there? They track blog views, the campaign views, and the post views. So it's try it if you really love blogging. You'll find it quite very user friendly, but it's not really that much talked about. For business, I think it's powerful. I'm not good at it, but I have a Tumblr account. Every now and then I do link it to my work. But yeah, because I do things myself, I guess the problem is I don't have enough time to do call to action sufficient enough. Maybe one day when we are able to afford a dedicated social media practitioner to do these things for us, we can maximize that. WhatsApp, we spoke about it. I mean, the unique thing about WhatsApp is that it's easy to use. To see the importance of WhatsApp, just have a WhatsApp shut down for a day. You will see the whole world will shake up. I'm sure you have experienced that. There was a time when WhatsApp went down. The whole world was crying like this outage we had recently on platforms. So WhatsApp is very powerful. It connects the whole world, especially with the WhatsApp calls now becoming the phenomenon. As long as you are connected to internet, WhatsApp will do magic for you. You can make and receive voice, videos, and share pictures. And it's very easy to download WhatsApp app anyway. So it really has revolutionized the way we connect with other. I like the WhatsApp calls because you can call anywhere in the world, and you don't get charged this exorbitant costs of overseas calls. And it's very free to use. You can create groups. Now, what I like about WhatsApp is you can create community and have all your groups aggregated in one community and have people jumping from one group to another. I'm sure you have seen that on our community as well, which we also call Digital Online Mastery. The cons or the disadvantage is that you have to have internet access, and also the videos are limited. You can't post anything more than 16 megabytes, and then of course the documents cannot be larger than 100 megabytes, and then of course data is not completely protected, and that's why the regulators actually make you, the administrator, responsible if people post things that infringes into rights of the other people on your own platform. So be careful when you do WhatsApp groups. You must make sure that you do the settings that you don't allow people to post things without you approving, because they can post things that are damaging, and you will be liable for that as an administrator. So some people don't know. You just rush to create a group, and then 1, 2, 3 people start publishing things that are illegal there. You are in trouble if you don't control and limit what people can do on your group. What do they measure on WhatsApp? Comments, hashtags, followers, and increase in followers. That's also gets measured. Yeah, let me stop here and allow you colleagues to reflect on what we have covered, how this platform can be used to promote your shows, and what have been confirmed, takeaway, aha moments that you experience, and new behaviors. Rabula, you next.
Yeah, can I use the word of aha moment for me was the professional LinkedIn and a professional Facebook or a business Facebook. So those are two elements which I need to go and research, and where possible, get a professional to assist me in those two areas. I think they should be able to help me a lot in terms of, and especially being a small entrepreneur, you want to expand your reach to the best of your ability.
Indeed. Beautiful. Thanks. Especially because you are the business person, Clarifily Holdings is your baby. It's very important that also when you get those professional help, also when you do the pictures. But I've seen you do beautiful pictures, Rabula. You're really doing very well. But yes, as you grow, professional help is very. You'll help you to achieve returns on investment. Thank you very much. Was that you are checking out?
For me, was my checking out. Sometimes you underestimate these platforms, and was to say, if my target market was sitting on LinkedIn, maybe I'm sitting in a wrong LinkedIn. I will need to go and look at terms of my professional LinkedIn. So perhaps that will enhance the footprint. That was my best.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Rabula. Who wants to check out? Divesh?
Check out for me, Sam, is that the social media platform should be part of your planning process, not just for marketing, but also for part of your research that you would do for your show, for your guest, the topic that you'll be talking about, as well as to expand your audience, both for the live stream as well as for the podcast that you might generate from your show. Thank you, Sam.
Indeed. And a very reliable source of speakers and guests for your show. But please don't just say, can you come to my show? Build a relationship. And then once you build that relationship, there you are. You will have very good guests for your shows. Thank you so much, Divesh.
Yeah, for me.
Yes, thanks, Professor.
Okay, sorry, Maynard, go ahead.
Okay, no, thanks, Umpile. I wanted to say from my side, I think we need to choose wisely the social media platforms, especially the ones that we want to use for marketing purposes. We need to choose the rightful ones. Like you mentioned the issue of the YouTube and the others that are actually good for commercial. And in terms of the LinkedIn, I don't know, in terms of marketing your business there, some of us maybe we push aggressive marketing where we maybe we push too hard. And I think maybe that's my something that I need to take away with that we don't need to market ourselves directly that much to people. We need to build relationships first. Uh, but yes, we'll play around and see. There's a thin line between marketing and just to network. So I think that's
Mm,
something that maybe we need to look into it.
mm,
Uh, yeah, because to myself, I think when I meet somebody on LinkedIn, I think the first thing that I will do is to market my business to that particular person. But I think it's something that is maybe a bad idea. We'll look into that and correct as time goes by. So yes, thank you
mm,
so much.
mm. Yeah, it irritates people because they know that ultimately you want to look at opportunities, but you can't be this desperate meeting people for the first time. So absolutely, you are spot on there. Build a relationship, and over time, you'll have the opportunity to talk about. The other thing that is very important that applies not only to LinkedIn but to all is take interest in other people's posts, comment on people's posts, share people's posts. That actually wins people over you. Even within LinkedIn, the algorithm that they use, they reward you for doing that because that is their objective. Their objective is that people must actually share with other people what they found from LinkedIn. When you do that, they actually accelerate your visibility, especially if you are owning a professional account. Curating is very, very powerful, highly rewarded, and we underestimate that. And when you do that, people will also curate your work because we are a community, we are a family of professionals on LinkedIn. But just to ignore others and just overemphasize on yourself, they view you as being greedy and selfish. So be careful, Maynard, you could be destroying my seller corporate branding, thinking that you are doing a good thing.
They are noted.
Thank you so much. Great. Margot? I can see
Yes,
Marco,
but
but I'm not sure whether. Yes.
for me, tonight I can emphasize on the new insight because my use of these platforms is very limited. I can safely say I am a big fan of Google, just to look at the current affairs, the political scenario, the social and economic scenarios of our country. And obviously, I'm a fan of WhatsApp because there you are able to socialize, you are able to communicate important messages, and also you look at my status and the status of other people. You are able to be exposed to a number of interesting and important messages as well. And to a limited extent, I do use the YouTube and the TikTok. Especially the common feature of the TikTok is some of the things that make you laugh your lungs out. So yeah, for me, the take home is that I now understand the content of each and every media, and then I am able to understand the pros and cons of each platform. And for my business, obviously, the greatest thing that I'll be using through this platform is to market my business. And now that we've got new roles at Cometa, Today's show is helping us to sharpen our source and prepare ourselves for the new challenges. Thank you very much.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much. I can see you are a fan of Steve Harvey and Dr. Mutla. Sharpen our soul.
Sharpening our source.
Yeah, starting with the end in mind.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Seek first to understand, then be understood.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Mutla. Beautiful indeed. Yes. Tendane, are you still with us? Okay. The connection from Magumbeja is not helping. Thank you, colleagues. It's been beautiful. I really enjoyed sharing insights with you and perspectives that you brought into the show. And I hope our listeners really a lot to take home here. And we had a very good audience today. Please keep on coming. You can see that this is a learning platform. We call it a social learning forum. We're learning collectively to go and teach others. Thank you so much for that. We are looking forward. We are progressing now. Next Tuesday, we will be looking at another interesting, it's a continuation of the show today, basically. It's unit number 24, Conduct 19, making the show go viral. Here we are going to be looking at, the concept of something going viral is a borrowed word from the medical sphere. We use it in internet. When something goes viral, that means it's really hit the right nerve and it's just going viral and everybody just wants to be part of it. So that's going to be unit number 24, Conduct 19, making your show going viral or your products or your services going viral. Here, we want you to learn the fundamentals of internet marketing to increase your show's reach. And we will delve into the internet marketing, looking at one of our courses titled Internet Marketing Fundamentals. I can't wait for that one, colleagues. And then, of course, let me also tell you in advance that our VUT show is back next week, Wednesday, the 31st. We will be hosting the managing director and operations director of a company called GEDD.co.za, JET.co.za, Mr. Walter Mugiva, who is the alumnus of the Valley University of Technology and very committed partner to the Valley University of Technology in terms of taking the WIL students to his company to be learning on the job there as part of their academic studies. As I was speaking to him today, he says he had made commitments since ever that he always takes between 4 students to 8 students from Valley University into his company. And what is fascinated, he says to me that it is not about his company. He is wanting together in partnership Valley University to produce the engineers of the future. And if people finish at his company and go to other companies, he does not get insulted. That's his objective. But of course, most of these students that come from VUT into his company, they are employed in his company. So don't miss that show. Gonna study at 1800 hours talking to him. The people who will be anchoring the show will be Divesh, our friend here, and Sylvia Mamorare, the president of the Institute of People Management and a member of COMESA indeed. And then the second hour, Rapula, and hopefully joined by Seha, if she's available. They will then be talking to 4 students, 2 that are currently doing a WIL at JET, and then 1 that is being one of those that have been retained by the company, and another one that had been allowed to migrate to go to greener pastures. Wow. That's a beautiful lineup indeed. But you will receive communication through our portal as always. Please, if you have not joined the membership, go to cometsamember.com. Complete your profile, upgrade your membership. We've got about 14 different kinds of membership. Some of them are specialized for your own area of it. I know some of colleagues here are already busy populating their profile. You can also put together your own business directory on that platform and do network with fellow members, and out of that you will turn them into clients. Thank you, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, listeners. It was indeed a pleasure to have you here. My name is Sam Zimmer. This is Cometa Radio Worldwide, the mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our minds to the journey that takes us to our destiny. Our shows are based on the principle called the idea. We inform and entertain, develop and educate, empower and support, associate and network. That's the idea. Remember that you can visit insightsonlinepodcast.com to listen to all the past episodes, the units and the conducts. You can find it also at insightsonlinepodcast.com, or you can go to Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify, and many others. You will be able to reach insightsonlinepodcast.com and really learn from the previous shows. Thank you, colleagues. Take care. Umpile, I hope you enjoy the kickoff of Olympics on the 26th of July. Is it this week? It's this week. And please shout out to Team South Africa there. Colleagues, Rabula, all the best in Maliving. Grow your chapter there. Divesh, are you in Tshwane? City of Tshwane.
Yes, I am.
Okay, your chapter is the city of Tshwane, and Makulove, Maynard, and I, we belong to the city of Ekurhuleni.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Tendan belongs to Makado chapter.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, colleagues. Take care. And then, of course, those blocks.
Thank you, colleague.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.